legally, the town doesn't have a requirement to do that. However, if we wish prior to setting the tax rate to agree to transfer those monies in the form of a budget amendment, it can be done at that time. Certainly can proceed in hiring a youth services director under the revolving account that exists today with monies.
So you would suggest that we make that adjustment in October when we have ideas of the numbers and so
I mean,
on.
you have a proposal right now that allows you to pay out and fund that position and fund that department under a revolving. Nothing illegal about that, you can do it. If you desire to present to town meeting the entire budget, it may be appropriate to identify the source of funds in its entirety at that time, and indicate that the amount is necessary for the entire year. This is what it is: salary, benefits, and expenses. And that perhaps is a way to go.
Okay, we've heard from, anybody else want to weigh in? Do we have a consensus from one of the others? Steve is.
Again, if someone wants to, if you want to put in, and I forget what the number was as far as the program costs that they proposed. What was it, 62, something like $10,000 or $12,000? About $12,000.
About $12,400.
Put the $12,000 in the line item for programs and $38,000 in salary, and when you get someone to come and take the job, you come to town meeting, and the funds, I assume Narissa will fund whatever the costs are going to be for the salary, and you make the supplemental appropriation in October, or you transfer it out of the program into the salary account, either way, to cover the remainder of the year. At least you've got
Mr. Bellacona said it's unnecessary. Mr. Bellacona said there's nothing wrong with, there's nothing wrong. This is inconsistent with other, it's inconsistent with the way other revolving funds have been handled, okay? And in my view, it's your attempt, your attempt to hamstring and to tie up Narissa and to prevent them from doing this job.
Not at all.
That's my
Quite the
view.
contrary.
No, that's my view. Let's vote.
That's
Let's
your
stop
view.
talking about it and let's vote.
Well, you just made an accusation. You tried to take
That's
my
my
position.
opinion.
You believe my opinion
Yeah.
is based upon an attempt to hamstring
Right.
Narissa, and that's absolutely, totally untrue.
Okay.
My position is to make it as transparent as it should be, the town meeting and the general public, as to what we have and who we have on staff.
You should have told Larissa that while they were here.
I have said it all the way along. If you're gonna create a
You
new
should have
position.
said that while they were
And
here.
I said, if you want, I said wait 6 months, and nobody wanted to wait for that either, so that you had
No,
all
so
your
now what
homework
you're,
done.
well, now what you're trying to do is get what you want
No,
by
no.
forcing it up to the town meeting.
All right.
You're
Let's,
transparent.
Trying to
All right,
get
hold
town
it.
meeting into the process. There's nothing wrong with that.
You're
we want
transparent.
it, in order to take.
Absolutely, as opposed to what
You
you're
are.
attempting to do.
Mr. O'Leary, please. In order to take and determine where we want to go, we need to make a vote. And to make a vote, we need a motion. So somebody want to put up a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move that the fiscal year 2008 budget include 2 line items, one for salary, one for expenses for Narissa. Allocations to those appropriations to be determined by the town administrator, whatever way makes it work.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. O'Leary. Do we have a second? Have a second. Motion. So I take it we're going to follow the advice of the town administrator for the time being, and I would be very much in support of, when we know what the budget's going to be, to put it into a living active budget and not to have it till the town meeting.
Do what? I'm sorry.
To adjust the budget in October to reflect what we're spending.
Is that the majority of the wishes of the board?
Oh, I'm saying that's what I would.
Well, let's get a consensus, and that's what the administration has some sort of indication as to whether or not they want to do that in October.
Okay.
October's a long time off, and I think that you just want to keep the conversation going. Let's move on to something else.
I'd like to give them some.
The vote
some
wasn't
direction.
supported, let's move on to something else, I said.
We talked about options, and
I
I'd like to
support
get
it.
this off the table. Do we have a motion?
I support the chairman's suggestion.
Do we have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move that the town administrator be directed to include a supplemental appropriation to reflect the expenses associated with Narissa, the salary and expense account, just the fiscal year 2008 budget, to reflect whatever those numbers may be and be incorporated in the budget.
You already made that motion.
What's
for
that?
October town meeting.
This is for October time.
October town meeting.
Okay, motion by Mr. O'Leary. Do we have a second?
I would second that motion.
Second by Mr.
If
Bean.
something needs to be done by October town meeting, I think that's a fair motion.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
What's the vote, what does a yes vote do here? I'm
It
not
says,
clear what
it
it
says
is.
at an October town meeting, we will add to the omnibus article the budget for Narissa for FY 2008, which would include money expended to date and whatever is needed, coming from the revolving fund to fund their program as they're budgeted, with the unknown currently being what the salary is. Right? Once we know what the salary is, then it's fair to have it in the budget.
Yes, it is.
Okay?
Yes, it is. I'm not in favor, I'd like to speak on it. Can I speak on it?
Yeah, of course.
I'm not in favor of this motion, and for one basic reason, okay? And that is that it is April. We needn't decide what we're gonna do in October. We have a hard enough time deciding what we're gonna do in April. We need to decide now what we're gonna do in October. I think this decision can be made in September, or at least August. So I'm not gonna vote for this, I'm not gonna vote for this. The issue sounds great, we should do it, yes, absolutely. But we can vote for this in August, not now. So,
Okay, we have a motion on the table. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
no.
4 to 1. Let's move on. More on the presentation. I'm putting together a PowerPoint presentation which will pretty much parallel what was done at the public hearing with adjusted numbers, and there will be, and this is where we walked a fine line here, because at the public hearing, we could talk about a 3-year plan. At town meeting, we're talking about the omnibus article and 2 columns, an override column, which is FY 2008. We're not discussing in town meeting 2009 and 210. But I think from an informational point of view, we can at least present what the plan is. And the purpose of that is also to show the public that, in fact, 2008 is linked carefully to 2009 and 10. I'll try to do that without crossing the line. I also have spent a fair amount of time, still working out what our debt service is. Talking primarily, well, actually, both pieces of it, our exempt debt and our regular debt. And there's a number of bands, as you're well aware, that have not been converted to permanent debt. And depending on when those are converted and whether or not we get bachelor school funding or not, we have a couple of different scenarios, and trying to be fully transparent about what a 3-year plan would look like, or even an override for 2008. It's fair to take a look at and alert the public to what else comes out of their pocket. It's got nothing to do with raising the levy limit. It's all to do with what we voted on 2 and 3 years ago. The other piece of it is there is an article in there for the additional monies for the police station, and I thought it was important that we took a real look at what the debt that we're covering in our regular budget is, and what that impact of that is, and how that folds into, to make sure that that would be funded in FY 09 and 10. The assumption being that we'd go with a ban for it, and the interest would come due in FY 2009, and I'm not sure that that's covered in the current plan. So there's a few adjustments that need to be made this week. We'll bring it forth to the finance team on Friday, make sure that everybody is together, and it'll be part of a presentation that will be made at town meeting associated with the omnibus article, and then support for a couple of money articles. I don't know how far we can stretch a presentation associated with a 3-year plan. So we get to the moderator and town clerk associated with what information we can distribute as part of this. Comments, looking input as to what the members of the board think would be important. By the way, this would also include, I think in the presentation, public hearing presentation I made, I picked a value of an average home of 450,000 and projected a tax rate that was suggested at that meeting, that if we could provide a multiplier, a little formula, so that someone could take their assessed valuation and put it into the formula, they could figure out the impact, similar to what was done electronically in Greggstown, where this committee for the supporting overrides got a place where you go and put in your name, and it's got your home valuation, and it actually calculates out what it's gonna cost you.
Why couldn't we put that on the website?
Well, we can't.
It's done for a private group in the community, I mean. Because if you run afoul, you possibly run afoul of the law, the campaign finance laws, by that information being deemed as the town taking an official position on the override. So it really should be separate from the town, it's an existing.
So
It's not a bad thing, though. I kind of like the idea of having a calculator available to the public.
Well, that's
Help
why
them decide
it's
one way or the other.
I think we can have a simple slide that says, you take your assessed valuation, and you plug it into this formula, in other words, some multiplier, and you come up with it. It's not a major algebraic expression you need to deal with.
Well, when you, if I may, when you talk about the presentation, how much are you intending to vary it from what you did for the public?
Change the numbers,
That's it.
update the numbers.
I think the presentation was good. The presentation you made was a good presentation.
Yeah, and the plan was to,
Change much.
the plan was to update the numbers, to put a little more, I pulled out a section on the exempt debt
Yeah.
because I didn't have the right numbers. So I plan on showing that impact. And I've asked the town clerk, the town treasurer, and she's provided that information, to take the Batchelder, the bands of the Batchelder, and to roll them into permanent debt in 2009 to make that projection. Because if you wait till 2010, in 2010 you have to make a double payment of the, what do you call it? The principal. You gotta make a double payment of principal, and then if you waited another year, it'd be a triple. So that obviously has some impact. So 2009, you take that money and you convert it to permanent debt, and you're making a principal payment and interest payment. The interest payment starts to drop off a little bit from what we're paying on the band, but then you've got the principal, so you're now putting out more cash. And then if you've got, if you assume that you get the Batchelder reimbursement from the state, the money that hasn't been converted purposely into permanent on the Batchelder was done purposely to say, this is kind of in the range of money we get from the state. We get this check, we pay off that ban, and all of a sudden we have no interest payment, which is about $500,000 a year or something in that range, and therefore we have positive impact rather than negative. So I thought I'd try to project out those two scenarios to say, we can go down, we're gonna either go down this path or this path, and it depends on the state funding. And then, that's an additional load on the override, in addition to an override. It's above and beyond the Prop 2.5 because it's exempt.
Yeah, I mean, these are some of the areas I think the average voter finds a little more confusing, and I think your presentation offered an explanation for that, but didn't get bogged down. So I thought.
Well,
Good.
it's clear to me it has to be simple.
Yeah, absolutely.
On the other hand, I've heard from a number of people that are asking that very question. What is our exempt debt? Where are we with it? What other further impact are we going to see? And the bottom line is that because we haven't converted it all, we're not on the downward slope.